All righty. So, Edward, we're good to go?
Yes, sir. We are on Zoom and we're gonna go live in Facebook in 1 minute or so.
Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome everybody to our Friday call here. This is Brett Shoemaker, Organo Gold's Business Development Coordinator. Sorry for starting late, guys. What I can tell you is you always have to be ready for whatever happens, right? We were on here early and 2 minutes, 1 minute before the technical difficulties decided to happen. And here we are starting 8 minutes late. So out of respect for everybody's time, guys, we're listening to feedback. And I want to just start off by saying that I've got a thought for the day up here. And it says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I think that's important in any type of relationship in life, right? Because ultimately there's two things that we're filtering and looking at on a daily basis when we're out communicating, whether it's communicating with our fellow distribution partners in our organization, whether we're communicating with our customers. And I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, so I would just share with you, I'm guilty of saying, hey, I want you to see it my way. So you do everything, say everything that you say, steer all your communication to see it their way. Okay. This is in kids, in parenting relationship. This is in a marriage relationship. It's in a business relationship, right? We want people to see it from our point of view, right? And the truth of the matter is that when somebody's sharing something with you, they are sharing their perspective. And I think a lot of times as people, especially as salespeople, right? Because I'm talking, what I'm seeking to understand as I share with all of you is how can I make sure that everybody that's listening to what it is that I'm saying, I understand the frame of reference that they're listening from, right? And I wanted to start this call off today on this, and I'm just going to just go ahead and just say this. I love the fact that we got feedback. I listened to some feedback. I asked some corporate employees for some feedback. Some of you in the field have given your feedback, and we appreciate that feedback because we we know what we have to do to grow and build a corporation to support what it is that you guys do on a daily basis, right? And we know what we need to do and what we need to provide. And so for us to be able to successfully do that on our end, we have to make sure that we understand what you guys need and you gals need. And so that way we can on a daily basis go out and create together in partnership that result. And so I just want everybody to know that's listening out there, whether you're a brand new distribution partner or whether or not, you've been in the company for a long time, whether you are a blue diamond, black diamond, crown diamond, or you're a brand new, VIP consultant, whatever it is that wherever it is that you're at in the achievement or rank, it makes you no different or no less of a person. It just means that you are in the process of achievement, right? And so I say all that because if you're somebody that's been in a while and maybe you've got a track record or you've got a level of success, or maybe you're working towards it, right? You might feel like, this is just a hypothetical, you might feel like, hey, there's somebody talking to me on behalf of corporate, but they have no idea what I'm doing in the field on a daily basis, right? They have no idea the daily roles that I have to do or have to accomplish. And so I want you, and I'm just going to continue to remind everybody of this as we come on every single week and share this. And we're going to have a set chain of events. And I'm going to continue to take everybody's feedback, which is, hey, can we go a little bit shorter? Can we go a little bit shorter? Because we want to make sure we don't lose anything what you're saying. And so We're listening to your feedback. We appreciate your feedback. And that feedback is send it to grm@organogold.com. Okay, grm@organogold.com. Give us your feedback. Tell us how you're feeling, what you want more of, what you want less of, so that we can make sure that we provide that. And so even though we had a little technical difficulty, I am going to challenge myself to get through the information in the same amount of time that we slotted, which is 30 minutes. So from now on, when we do these calls, this particular call here on Friday for new distribution partners and the Tuesday product call, okay, we're going to use the product expo calls. We're going to use these 2 times and these 2 platforms, okay? We're going to use them to train and educate, and you guys get to steer the ship essentially. And every single week we're going to put together, and I'm going to put together what I feel is something that's necessary and vital to your success. And then with your feedback, I'm going to give you more of what you need and how I can help navigate the process. So paradigm, behavior, result, right? Our behavior is dictated based upon the frame or the paradigm that we live in. And as network marketing professionals, as business people, as salespeople every day when we go out there and project our products and services with the world, we are doing all of that with a certain frame of reference, okay? And that frame of reference, we've decided that we're going to do XYZ behavior. If you've decided that you want to be directing your time and attention with acquiring customers, you've made that decision. If you've decided that you're going to take your time and attention and go and recruit distribution partners, you've made that decision. If you want to do both, you've made that decision, right? And I think a lot of us as business people, we kind of think of doing both, but eventually there's a result that falls out the other end. And so that result that falls out the other end is really going to, at the end of the day, what that result is going to do is going to really just show you where you're at, right? And I think a lot of times in the past, when I was going out there and I was building a business and I was learning how to build a business, I sometimes felt judged, right, about my current position, or I felt judged about my current level in life, okay? And some of that may have been because that's how, that person might make me feel, or that environment might make me feel. And sometimes it was because that's how Brett felt. That's how Brett wanted to feel, okay? And maybe that feeling was my own script that I was running, or maybe that script was influence. Nevertheless, right, it's still my choice to run the script. And so I have to look at my information. And so what we're going to talk about today, we've been going through Mr. Caldwell and the corporate team. We kind of said, hey, if we're going to create a framework, right? Because here's what we're trying to do at corporate, right? And I say trying because it's a dance, right? Anytime in any relationship, it is a dance. What we are ultimately looking to do, just real simply put, is we want to create a framework, right? Where we know that what we want to do as a company and what we want to provide as a company to you and all of your potential customers, distribution partners, we want to make sure that we communicate that effectively, on purpose, on point, right? And then allow you to decide how you want to do it, right? We're not in a situation where we force a square peg in a round hole. We just want to provide the information. And so this is a checklist that we've come up with first to kind of share with everybody, okay? To share with everybody what is important to us that we make sure is important to all the new people that are getting started, right? And so this checklist is going to help build the person, the distribution partner. This checklist is for really the person that's getting started to take personal responsibility and accountability for their business. The second thing that we're going to talk about in the next 13 minutes here or so is going to be how to plug in to how to use the checklist, how to use the checklist as a leader from a leadership position, okay, as their sponsor, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then 3, how to plug into the event system, which is ultimately how you take personal accountability, how you as the leader take accountability, right? And then how you collectively together are going to go out and implement in the marketplace. And so I'm just going to go through this step by step here, and I'm going to just share with you the way that we are thinking of it, the way that Mr. Caldwell, myself, all the Organo staff, how we have to corporately look at this big picture so that we can go out and build on a daily basis, okay? And so the first thing is download OG Pay, right? Now you might say, well, Brett, why is that step one? Okay, well, this is how I want everybody to think about it. Think of OG Pay as the command center for your business, okay? Think about OG Pay as the command center for your business. And I don't want to go way out in the weeds, right? Because here's what I know as I'm understanding all of you that are distribution partners out there that are out there building the business, right? What I understand about all of you is that you want to know what you're working with, right? You want to know what you're working with. You want to know what you have to promote, leverage, and sell. And you want to know what it does, what it doesn't do, so that you can communicate effectively. Well, guess what? As of right now, you guys have heard a lot of exciting stuff that is happening with OG Pay. And Mr. Caldwell and the IT department, the technology department is working around the clock to make OG Pay work in all the different parts of the country, all the different areas. And it will, right? It will work eventually because that is exactly where the company wants to go with it. And so for right now, though, here's what we know about OG Pay, right? Me, you, everybody that's a distribution partner, we get paid with OG Pay, right? So if everybody that decides and makes a decision to become a distribution partner, they've decided that they're going to get paid. So that's the first thing that they want to do is you want to download OG Pay, okay? Next thing is you want to log into My OG Academy. Why would you want to log into My OG Academy? I'm not going to go through all the steps and how to log in and how to get your password. You guys have done it. If you're watching this right now, excuse me, I want to spill coffee on myself here. If you're watching this right now, you have already joined as a distribution partner and you are now saying, okay, I want to get some training. And that is what's happening right now. For those of you that are watching this, you are watching this as a part of the Organo corporate provided platform to build your business on a daily basis, okay? And we're going to keep talking about that, but I want to make sure that I get through this. So the next thing is My OG Office, right? We know that as of right now, there are a couple different options when it comes to your office, right? Whether it's the regular one, whether it's the paid one, we understand that. Ultimately, how do you want to determine what your office is, right? Really, all it is tracking, right? There's several other ways to track, but your OG office tracks it and accounts it so that Organo knows what to pay you, right? And so whatever's in there, that's what they're looking to pay you on. And I say they, knowing that it's me, right? I'm Organo Go Corporate, but that's not my department, right? I'm not in the accounting department. Do I know folks in the accounting department? Of course, right? But that is not my department. So we're just laying out the checklist. So we want people to be familiar with My OG Office and tracking so that they can track their business. The fourth thing is follow, like, and subscribe, okay? Follow, like, and subscribe to the social channels. Now, I want to make sure that I'm clear here. This is really when we talk about the Organo channels, right? Because above and beyond Organo channels, there's My OG Academy, right? My OG Academy is like the training area, the training portal. That's like, you know, when I went to the military, we went to boot camp, right? That is like boot camp, but it's also like in real estate or in teaching or in the insurance business, you have continuing education. We have to renew your license all the time, right? So think about that as a constant. You're never going to grow too old for My OG Academy. That's where you're at right now, right? Even though you're listening to it live on Facebook, maybe on Zoom, maybe on a replay, you're going to constantly plug in. Whether you used to listen to a presenter and now you're presenting the information, right? You're always going to grow and live in that training environment because that is the lifeblood. That is the epicenter. Everything runs and grows through what is being trained, what is being permeated through the field, right? And through your, through your organization, through other people's organization. And so the next checklist item is going to be 5, whitelist and read correspondence. So we want everybody to communicate and make sure that they're getting communication from corporate. So you want to make sure that you go and add corporate to your whitelist your whitelist. In other words, add it to your contacts. If you're in Google, if you're in Google Chrome, or not Google Chrome, if you're in Outlook or you're in a Hotmail, make sure that you whitelist it, because deliverability changes, okay, per host, okay, per server, SMTP servers. I don't want to get into the technical weeds of it, but it changes, right? And so sometimes deliverability is good, sometimes it's bad. And so if you make sure that you whitelisted it, you've accepted that as a contact, that's telling your email server or wherever it is you're getting messages that, hey, I want to get messages from them. So whitelist so that you can read correspondence, so you don't miss calls like this. So you don't miss a training call from a Dr. Bob Rakowski. So you don't miss a training call from a Casey Martin Nielsen. So you don't miss a training call from a Blanca Saturis, right? That's out there, you know, just taking over the world with customers and building, right? So whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're getting that information, okay? The next thing is replicated sites. You want to make sure that you know what your handle is, that when you enroll, you want to make sure that you know what that handle is, because you're going to share your website link with people, and that's how they're going to purchase the product, right? That's how they're going to join the business, through those links, right? And so all of that being said, let's keep moving forward with the checklist. 7 is My OG Academy. Follow, like, and share. And so the reason why you're going to follow, like, and share My OG Academy, because you have the social channels of Organo, which is going to kind of tell you the product development, what the company is doing from a product or vertical standpoint, right? So a product or vertical standpoint is why you would go to Organo, but why you would go to My OG Academy is really because My OG Academy is kind of like the business development epicenter or the event epicenter, right? So those are different channels, and you're going to want to plug into those channels, because OG Corporate is going to continue to give information. They're giving product information on the Organo channels, and they're giving business development information on the OG Academy channel, right? And so it seems very simple, right? But believe me, you want to build your environment for your new distribution partner, and as you as a distribution partner, so it's very seamless, okay? Next is auto ship. Let me tell you what auto ship is, and let me tell you what auto ship is not, okay? Now, auto ship is really for you to have tools. Why do you need auto ship? Okay, well, let's think about this. Why do you buy anything from a store, right? You buy it because you want to consume it, right? Well, when you're in business, there's really 2 now, right? It's not only personal consumption, but you're also sampling, right? We are in a sampling-based business, especially with the product. But at the end of the day, we're just sharing experiences, right? But it's much easier to share a coffee experience, right? Because I can drink some coffee, and then I can be like, wow, that's good. Well, I got more energy. I feel a little happier. I feel like I'm in a better mood. Wow, it must be the coffee, right? Now, we know we don't make any claims, and this is not a claim call. However, we can share that experience very simply, right? And so with auto ship, the reason for auto ship is because we are consuming and we are sharing, right? So outside of that, the only thing we need to think about auto ship, it's a qualification, right? We know that there's a certain qualification that we need to do as a distribution partner to stay active in the business, right? And so outside of that, we know that we need to make that happen. And so just from an expectation standpoint, you want to make sure that you set up that auto ship, right? Because you don't want to think about whether or not you're going to be in business, right? If you're having a conversation with yourself where you have to say, should or shouldn't I set up auto ship? Really what you're saying is, is or isn't this business going to work, right? Because you know you're going to have to pay it at some point or the other, right? So if you're like a person that you don't manage your money well and you always like wait to the last minute to do it, hey, set it up. You know, I know what you might have been taught, right? And I'm of the same thing. I want everybody to do it early on, right? What do leaders want people to do? They want it to do it now. They don't want to procrastinate, right? But here's what I've learned. I've learned that you can't control a person, but you can lead and encourage them to do the right thing. And ultimately, all you can control is yourself. And so you can lead by example. But if I try to force, I might repetitiously tell you why, right? Over and over again. And you may make a decision to listen or not. Or maybe you just listen and do it because, you know, you're been brought up or conditioned to do what you're told. But eventually, like when we start growing up and becoming people, right? Like I have a 16-year-old son, a 11-year-old son, and as of yesterday, a 6-year-old daughter. And so, you know, they want to do what they want to do, right? And they do sometimes what I ask them to do because I'm their parent. But ultimately, they're thinking like, dude, why do I have to do this? Like, why? This is silly, right? Like, I don't know why I should do this. Well, guess what? It's because they're honoring me partly, and they don't know, but they're trusting. They're trusting that I'm going to do it, right? So, or they're trusting that it's all going to work out, right? Now, they might trust with a bitter frame of reference or a I'm mad at mom and dad reference, but I can't control that. I can only keep leading in spite of, okay? So number 9, okay? The next thing that we want to make on a checkpoint is ranks and incentives, okay? Ranks and incentives. I want to make sure that I understand what to achieve for, what to plan for, what I'm shooting for, okay? Because that's going to dictate how I go out and work on a daily basis. Number 10, plugged into events, schedule and calibrate, okay? The going to events and being plugged into events is going to allow you to, first of all, schedule and calibrate. I'm not saying what events do. I know what events do. You know what events do, right? Events show you, or events create experiences for your new distribution partners to see the big picture, see people that are winning and achieving, hear from all the top leaders that are out there making it happen, right? Which I love to hear from, and I'm learning more and more your names and everything on a daily basis. And I'm going to continue to do that, right? And so we're scheduled, once we plug into the event system, we then figure out how we want to schedule our day. Well, I want to go and listen to this call about business this week. I want to listen to this call and learn about the product this week. I don't want to listen about the product this week, but I want to listen to the business this week. So our job is to provide. Your job is to select, right? Our job is to provide. Your job is to select, because ultimately you're leading, you're in control, and we don't take it personal if you go to this call and not the next one or not, right? Because you're the leader, you're determining and dictating what goes on in your life because you're a personal business owner and you're an independent distribution partner, okay? So what the 11th thing is, the 11th thing that you want to do as a new person is you want to calendar prioritization, okay? You want to have some set accountability, right? And we've kind of taken the liberty for you in a certain sense, right? Because we create some calendar events that you and your team plugs into. Your team plugs into you because you're on there. You get the Organo platform because you've earned that platform, right? And so that's the cool thing. And then everybody decides how they want to kind of get in there. And then the 12th thing is reflect and grow in mindset. And so to close up, this is what I want to just kind of share with everybody. We've just kind of talked about, again, I'm going to go back to this to recap, okay? We talked about a 24 to 48 hour checklist, okay? And what this checklist does is it allows a new person to understand what they're doing. And I want to say this, if anybody that's listening to this, if you're a new distribution partner, okay, specifically if you've been in the business for a while, right? If you're a sapphire, ruby, emerald, diamond, blue diamond, black diamond, if you have a suggestion of like the order that should be in or why, what we're saying is please give us that feedback, because all we're simply doing, again, is creating a framework that you guys can cherry pick from, okay? We know that as a checkpoint, these are the things that we want to make sure that people are doing. We're not saying they have to be all in this order. And we're not saying they all have to be exactly the same way, right? But we know what it takes for the person to get plugged in. And then you as their leader, here's how we see this happening, right? Once this checklist has, once this checklist has been gone through by the new distribution partner, right? Or it's been sent to them via email or text, we're working on how we're going to administer and send that out to everybody. But once that checklist is completed, your job as the leader with this 24 to 48 hours after that checklist was given to them, or you gave them the checklist, however it got to that new distribution partner, your job is to say, hey, okay, I'm going through the checklist. You're basically saying, have you done all these 12 things, right? And it's not because you're their boss or you're bossy. You're really just there to serve and say, hey, how much of that 12 checklist did you do, right? And real quickly in a hurry, you're going to be able to figure out, did they wait for you to do it or did they actually do it? And so from at that point, okay, that is your new experience and frame of reference for that particular person. The next distribution partner might not be the same experience, okay? The next distribution partner, you're going to find maybe they take it on and go without them. At the end of the day, here's what we have found, and this is what I have found personally in my life, is the more prepared that you are, the more organized that you are, the more trusting that people are to follow your leadership. The less organized you are, the less composed you are, the less that they're going to want to follow. And you know how I've learned this? Because I have learned and I have analyzed my own situation and said, hey, why is it that this person won't follow or that person won't follow? They like me, they trust me, but there's some level of trust or respect that's not clicking. And you know what it is? It is and was and will continue to be my outward expression as to how I'm handling and processing information. My outward expression is how I'm processing and handling information. And so the third thing here, and this is what I'm going to put a nice big shiny bow on everything, is the team. So the checklist gives me activities that I can do as a new distribution partner, okay? I'm going to use the checklist and leverage the checklist as a leader because I want to share with new people how they can be effective and how they can start with a step 1, step 2 type of process. And I'm going to just, as their leader, I'm not going to boss them around. I'm going to show them what they need to learn and understand. And you guys all know, you could have spent, 5-10 minutes on each bullet point, right? And so that's when you're just training. As a leader, you're training because once people are equipped, once people are knowledgeable, that is when they have the confidence. And at that point, you're going to be able to determine and discern with your new people who's going to go out and do it. And if they don't go out and do it, here's what I have personally found. What I've personally found, it's because they're still unsure. They're still unconfident. And it might not be in themselves. It might be in the system. It might be in themselves. It might be in the product. Typically, what I have found is they are not typically comfortable with you or themselves or both. And so it's a constant learning process to figure out that solution. And that is a work in progress. And so here, guys, look, we could go on and on. I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate your feedback. Anything that you guys want, anything that you guys recommend, grm@organogold.com, grm@organogold.com. I am sorry we went 7 minutes over the slotted time. From now on, though, these calls, unless you guys say otherwise, from now on, these calls are going to be 30 minutes. Monday, let me just share with you guys from a corporate vision standpoint, okay? Mondays, we have the chairman calls with Mr. Paul Caldwell. Tuesdays, we have the product expo call that we'll be just sharing and educating basic information. By all means, share what you'd like to hear next and what you would like to hear on those product expo calls. And then on Fridays, we're going to have the distribution partner business development call. So I want to just encourage everybody to plug in. The next call is that I will be doing on Product Expo. The Product Expo call is going to be Tuesday, June 16th, okay? Tuesday, June 16th, we're going to be talking about 2 new verticals and 2 new products that we did not really focus on last week. Of course, we're always talking Ganoderma for the most part, so you're going to continue to hear that. And then on Friday, we've got Friday, June 19th, distribution partner business development. And that's going to be at 12 o'clock next Friday, because I don't want to take distribution partner time. I want you guys to use these platforms for growing your business, for allowing your team to fight, and all of you that are out there, fight for your leadership to keep going to the next level, and fight for their spot to get up here and share with all of you, because that's exactly what we want. We love to see you guys getting to the top. We love to see you guys fighting and rank advancement. But more than anything else, we love to know that you're a part of our family, our culture, and you're consuming products that Mr. Bernie Chua set out to do from the very beginning, as you see below here, is bringing the treasures of the earth to the people of the world. So with that being said, guys, be thinking about what your priorities are. Be thinking about what your non-negotiables are, so that you can start to schedule and cherry pick what you want, what call you want, what call you don't want, and feel free to do that. So with that being said, Edward, I am closing out the call here, sir. Thank you for your time and being here. Did we come through clearly, I'm hoping?
Yes, sir. Totally.
All right, fantastic. Well, we will see everybody on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will obviously see you guys on all the vision calls, the live calls for corporate, but I will personally see you guys back here at Tuesday, June 16th at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, Edward, thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in.